Yo, 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 it's East Coast Snow, and today we're going to be going over whether or not you should get the New York Ski3 season pass for 2023-2024 ski season. We're going to be going over the mountains, we're going to be going over the prices, and more. So let's get into it. Alright guys, so here we got the prices pulled up. Now this pass is for Whiteface, Gore, and Bel Air mountains. We're going to check them out in a couple minutes, but first, let's see how much these prices are. Now I would pause it here now if you want to see exactly the age group that you'd fall into, and if you're going to do teen or college or in your 20s or 30s or whatever age level you fall into. But as you can see, all these first deadlines are from March 8th to August 9th. All the way down the line here for the first pricing, and then the second deadline. Now this is going to be $150 to $200 more, or about $100 to $200 more. It's going to go from August 10th to December 6th. So be sure to think about getting your pass sooner than later if you are considering this pass. Now I also do want to mention that there is a Whiteface only pass, there's a Gore only pass, and there's also a Bel Air only pass as well. You should have to go on the websites and see. I think it's $6 or $650 or something like that for the other two only mountain passes, but you can check that out on their websites. I also want to mention that there are blackout dates for the limited pass, which are going to be here the normal Christmas week, I think MLK and President's Day weekend as well. So let's check out the first mountain. Alright guys, so the first mountain we got is supposedly the greatest vertical in the East, which is Whiteface. So this comes in with 3,430 foot vertical. It has a lift vertical of 3,166. You can see the base verticals and the peak verticals as well, and some of the lift verticals in there too. But as you can see, the peak is almost 5,000 feet high, and this is just an insanely tall and challenging mountain. It has 94 trails, 22 miles of skiing, 299 skiable acres, not including, I guess, some stuff in the backcountry or something. And lastly here, we got the terrain broken up, and then we also got the lifts. They have 2 gondolas, and they have a bunch of other lifts as well, but the 2 gondolas is really cool. So let's check out the map. Here is the Whiteface map. This is an absolutely insane mountain. As you can see here at the top, it's 4,650 foot tall. Almost 5,000 summit. There's a bunch of double blacks here at the top, and then as you move down to the middle, there's a bunch of blacks, couple blues, but on this face, on Little Whiteface, there's a bunch of blacks and double blacks, which looks absolutely insane. And as you come down the middle of the mountain, it looks like there's like 12 terrain parks and maybe a couple double blacks on this side as well. And there's a couple greens at the bottom, but that's okay because there's so many blacks and double blacks. And I think there's also some backcountry as well. But this mountain is absolutely insane. It is super big. We've never been there before, but just by the looks of this map and the steepness and the elevation, it looks absolutely insane. So let's check out the next mountain. So here we got Gore Mountain. It's a 3,600 foot summit, and then as you can see, the rest of the peaks are there. It's got a 2,500 foot vertical, 120 trails. These mountains are huge mountains. It would take you days to ski them. And it's not just a bunch of small trails or a bunch of connected trails or a bunch of greens or blues. These are blacks and difficult trails that these mountains have that are worth skiing. You can see the longest run is 4.4 miles. They have 453 skiable acres. That's absolutely insane. That is so much skiing. The terrain's broken down here, and you can see the lifts as well, 14 lifts. I do not think they have a gondola. Oh wait, yes they do have one gondola, an 8-passenger gondola. That's insane and amazing. Let's check out the map. Alright, so here is the Gore map. Now this map isn't that great, but this is the best I could get it so you could see the entire map. They call these different mountains here and here and here, but they're just the different peaks. But this is definitely a huge mountain. This is absolutely insane. I think it's supposedly the biggest mountain in New York because it's got like 450 acres of skiing. At the top here, there's a bunch of double blacks and blacks, a couple blues. Some blacks come down off this face, some blues here, looks like some blacks on this side as well. And as you come down, I think down here as well. This mountain looks absolutely amazing and huge, and it would probably take you all day to ski this. Probably definitely worth trying out. I know we're looking to try out some of these mountains in the future just because we haven't yet, and they're absolutely huge, and they're right up in New York, one state above us in New Jersey. So let's check out the next mountain. So the last mountain we got in the pass is going to be Bel Air Mountain. I think I'm saying it right, Bel Air, whatever it is, but this mountain is supposed to be an amazing mountain as well. It has 63 trails, which isn't a ton, but I know from research that this mountain is a great mountain and has a ton of amazing trails, even though there's only 63. The vertical drop is only 1,400 foot tall, but it does have 175 skiable acres, which isn't bad at all. The summit is 3,400 feet, which is amazing, and then they have the lodges up top as well, which is pretty cool. So this mountain is going to be one of the smaller mountains on the pass, but just because it's smaller doesn't mean it's not as difficult or as challenging or as fun. So let's check out the map. Alright guys, so here we got the Bel Air map. Now this looks pretty cool because it seems that you can get to like almost every single trail just from like 1 or 2 lifts. You might have to push a little bit from the top, but this looks like an absolutely amazing mountain. As you can see in the top here, it's full of double blacks. And there's black diamonds too. It must be extremely steep and glady up here. And then as you can see on the left and the right side, a couple trails come out, and then they all come down to the bottom here. This mountain's not massive, but it definitely has a lot of blacks and double blacks, which I assume has a lot of challenging terrain and must be super fun to ski. Now this mountain doesn't have backcountry, but it does have a lot of the black diamonds and double blacks and difficult trails. See, a road comes up through the middle here and you could actually ski through it, or must be ski over it, and then you could ski around it on this side, and then you could go above it on the lift as well, which is pretty cool. But obviously this seems like the smallest mountain on the pass, but it definitely seems like a mountain to check out in New York because of all this difficult terrain. So should you get this pass for 2023-2024 ski season, this is honestly a good pass to consider if you live in the New York area or you live around the New York area. We're from the Atlantic City area, so these mountains are about a 6 to 8 hour drive for us or more. But to travel up here 5 or 6 times a year in the winter season would be worth it for us just to try out these mountains because we haven't been to them before. However, if you live in New York or you live in one of the nearby states, this could be a pass for you because these mountains are so massive and they're extremely worth it to ski. For example, Whiteface is one of the biggest mountains on the East Coast, and just this being on the pass could be worth it for you to only ski this mountain. However, Gore is also a huge mountain, and Bel Air is also a good mountain to check out. You do want to check the locations of these mountains because they're not all in the same area in New York. They are a couple hours drive from each other, so you just want to keep that in mind as well. So would I get this pass? Honestly, I would consider getting this pass. I know I said it's about a 6 to 8 hour drive for us, but for us to go 5 or 6 times a year could be worth it because we haven't been to these places, and you could stay a couple nights and you could really get your money's worth and really explore the mountains. Also, the day passes at these mountains are probably all $100 or $150 plus. So if you're planning to go on a couple trips here, it might be worth it just to get the pass. For us, we try to go skiing about 10 or 20 times a year, so we try to spend between 50 and 60 or 70 bucks a day at every mountain we go to when we buy a pass. So if you ski or snowboard the East Coast, definitely consider getting this pass. I did videos on the Icon Pass, the Northeast Epic Pass, the Indy Pass. I'm going to be doing more of these, so if you have any questions, comment below. East Coast Snow out.